Today we're showing you not one, not two, but three of Shotgun Red's best potato soups.
When the weather gets cooler, you're craving some of that comfort food, and there's nothing like a great soup.
A creamy chicken potato soup.
So the first thing we're going to do is make sure that your chicken is chopped up. We've got our Dutch oven on medium heat. We're just going to add a little bit of olive oil, and we're going to cook up our chicken. We're going to season up our meat a little bit, a little salt and pepper. And all we want to do is just get this where it's almost cooked. We're going to turn that down just a little bit to medium-low. And we're going to take a slotted spoon and remove that chicken and leaving the drippings in the pot. We're going to set that aside. I'm going to add a little bit more oil. And then we're going to put about 2 tablespoons of butter. Now that we get the butter melted, we're going to add our carrots, our celery, and our onion. 1 medium onion. Saute this up a little bit, about 5 minutes until it's tender. We'll see, we'll check it, we're going to cover it. All right. Then we're going to take about a tablespoon of minced garlic, and I'm just going to use the rest of this. So we're going to add about 5 tablespoons of butter. And as soon as that's melted, we're going to add equally 5 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. And stir that together. We're going to cook that flour a little bit. This is going to help thicken our soup up. So we got about 4 cups of chicken broth. I'm going to pour, and I need you to stir that around in there, which is basically 1 box. I got half of a half and milk mixed, 3½ cups. We're going to stir that in. All right, once we get that stirred up, we're going to add our chicken back into the pot. We chopped up our potatoes, and now we're going to dump them chunks right into the pot. Oops, I'm splashing Shotgun Red and everything.
Yes.
About a teaspoon of onion powder. We're going to put about a tablespoon of granulated chicken bouillon. And you know how I like red pepper.
She loves red pepper.
Mom says I can't put too much, but we're going to put a half a teaspoon of out there. A half a teaspoon of paprika. Maybe 1/4 to a half a teaspoon of black pepper. And then I've got our celery sticks, the leaves on there. We're going to put that inside because that's going to flavor the soup also. And sprinkle that in there. And I'm going to put 2 or 3 bay leaves in there to stir in. And we're going to leave those in. We'll take the bay leaves out right at the end. Turn this up to about medium heat, maybe a little bit medium high until it starts to simmer. And then we're going to bring it down to simmer it on low for 30 minutes.
So good. We had this covered and it was simmering for about like 30 minutes.
And we stirred it on occasion. We kept it covered. Just looks and smells delicious. I can't wait to try it. Look at that. Yummy. So we got some just mixed cheese. This is just like Gruyere and cheddar kind of mix.
Right.
And we're just going to put a little bit. And we even got a little bit of parsley. So we'll sprinkle a little parsley on there. And we've got a little salt and peppers. This is delicious. You guys are going to enjoy this. You got to try this wonderful soup. You're going to like it. Is this the best creamy chicken potato soup? If it ain't, it ought to be.
Today we're going to make loaded potato soup. Great stuff. Come on over, let's get started. I got 8 strips of bacon in this little Dutch oven here cooking up. Just got it nice and crisp. Get my slotted spoon here. Dig the rest of these little pieces of bacon out of here, and I want to leave the drippings in there because I'm going to make a roux. We've left the bacon grease in there. I'm going to put in 4 tablespoons of butter, 1 yellow onion, all diced up in there. I'm going to switch to a whisk here, and we're going to cook this for a couple of minutes and get this diced up onion kind of nice and soft. Now it's time to add our equal parts of flour, which is 4 tablespoons. Now don't stop stirring because you'll burn the roux. I've got this on medium to medium high heat because I'm wanting to get a little color on this onion. All right, it's only been 2 minutes and this is looking really nice. Time to add some of our liquid. Now I've got 3 cups of chicken stock and I've got 3 cups of whole milk. I'm going to add our milk first. Put in the 1 cup first and get to stirring this. Look at it getting thick, so we're going to keep adding our milk here. We'll put the rest of our milk in, which was 3 cups. Now I'm going to turn it up a little bit to medium high here, and we're going to add our 3 cups of chicken broth. That we can pour right in. And now over here, I've got 4 potatoes. I don't like big pieces of potato to eat. I want smaller chunks, so they're kind of only like little 1/2-inch cubes at the biggest. Now we're going to add our 4 potatoes that we have cubed up in there. Now I'm going to go from my whisk back to my spoon. And we're going to bring this to a simmer, and we're going to simmer this for 20 minutes before we add some more delicious goodies. It's been 20 minutes. I just checked the potatoes off camera. They're nice and soft. Now it starts getting good here. We're going to put in 1/2 cup of sour cream. We're going to put in 1½ cups of cheddar cheese. Now you can use mild cheddar, sharp cheddar, but I actually buy medium cheddar when it's hanging on the shelf, because then it fits in about all the recipes. So we're going to put in 1½ cups of cheddar cheese. Let's dump in our 8 slices of bacon that have been crumbled up and sitting on this paper towel over here. Doesn't it look terrific? Wow-wee. Now, after we get those ingredients in there, we're going to simmer it for another 5 minutes to let all that bacon and sour cream and cheese really melt. That smells so wonderful. It's been about another 5 minutes. Now we're in the home stretch. Time for a little bit of seasoning. I've only got a 1/2 teaspoon of salt and a 1/2 teaspoon of pepper for this pretty good sized little cooker here. And that's going to be enough to get us started. Because there's nothing worse than making a whole big pot full of soup or anything and it's too salty, or it's got too much pepper in it, or whatever, because you can't take it out, but you can always add it. I think it needs this little ladle right here to ladle some of this delicious potato soup. Look at that in here. We're going to garnish this with a little bit of spring onions, and that's plenty right there. All right, Sheila, come on over here. Let's give this a try here.
They're tender.
They are tender, and isn't that just absolutely delicious with those little pieces of bacon in there and sour cream and cheese, and goodness gracious, you got to try this. Yeah, it's so creamy. We hope you subscribe. We hope you check out some of our other recipes. And is this the best loaded potato soup you ever made? If it ain't, it ought to be.
You've got some taters,
And hamburger meat.
then you can make this super easy, economical soup.
Right.
It's super good. It's comfort food in a bowl, and
Yes.
we know you are going to love it. So we got our skillet on medium heat, and we've got 2 pounds.
Of some lean ground beef.
And we are going to add in some Worcestershire sauce, the
Yeah,
W
this
sauce.
W sauce. 1 medium sweet onion diced up.
And we're going to let that brown up a little bit.
2 teaspoons of minced garlic.
Going to mix that around in there. And we got our pre-greased crock pot.
And you can put a liner in if you want to.
Yeah, you can
Doesn't
use
matter.
a liner or pre-grease it, whatever's easy, but we always like to pre-grease it.
And you have 1 teaspoon of garlic salt, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, and 1/2 teaspoon of cumin.
And then
2 teaspoons of salt and 1 teaspoon of pepper. And then 2 teaspoons of chicken bouillon flavor. And 1 teaspoon of rosemary.
we're going to add in
Our carrots.
green onions. And this is about 1 cup of it, but you could add more.
And our sweet corn.
We'll put about 1 cup of sweet corn in there.
And our potatoes.
And these are the gold potatoes. I really like the gold potatoes, but you can use any kind of potato you like. And we just cubed these up. Got them ready to go, and we're going to put those in. I like the cube because it's bite-sized, you know?
Right.
Especially for a soup. So we're just going to mix this together. And then,
Our chicken broth.
and we're going to add about 5 cups of this chicken broth. And this is the lower sodium. If you guys are out there watching your sodium, you know, you can use that. And we're just going to pour that right on top of all this. We're going to mix that together. And we're going to cook that on low for about 6 hours. But about 30 minutes before we get done, we're going to add a few more things. So it's been in there about 5.5 hours.
Look at that.
All
That
those
smells
flavors
good.
and stuff. Look at that.
Mm.
Yummy. So we reserved some of that salt and pepper, so I'd like to add it in now. Just sprinkle that in there.
Here comes the cornstarch.
And we're going to add that into about a cup of milk.
And make a slurry out of it.
And we're going to add 2 big tablespoons of that. That'll help thicken up the broth of this soup a little bit. So we're going to whisk that together. You don't want to pour it directly in because it's going to make it clumpy. So if you mix it and whisk it into the milk first, it'll really help. And like I said, if you want it a little bit thicker, you can add a little bit more cornstarch. This is just 2 tablespoons. We want this more of a soup. And then
Our shredded cheese.
And this is cheddar jack cheese. And we're going to put
About 2 cups.
And we're going to let this melt into this soup and flavor the soup here for about 30 minutes. I think it's done, Sheila. Look.
Ooh.
Yum.
Check it out. I'm ready to bowl some of this up.
I know. Break out the red bowls.
I know. Look at those.
Everybody likes our red bowls, huh?
They do.
They always ask them, where do you get those bowls? So we put the link below. Look at that. See, now if I hand my husband some of that with some meat and big carrots and potatoes like that, he's happy.
He would love that one. He'd be going back for 2 bowls.
Oh, yeah, he does too. Let's eat. You can put some cheese in this or sour cream, crackers, whatever you want.
Or bread.
Anything. Have some cornbread or anything like that. Rolls. And
in the South, everything goes around cornbread.
Everything goes around cornbread. And soup is no exception. So, well, as Steve would say, is this the best hamburger potato soup? If it ain't, it ought to be. We'll see you next time right here on Cooking with Shotgun Red. Bye.